You're listening to Real Crime, the Movie Sleuth podcast.
There is something that doesn't taste very good about getting soap in your mouth, because I was right before the show here. I used the restroom, and
I thought it was going somewhere else.
No. We're gonna keep it PG tonight.
Okay.
That's a lie.
But I know I got this horrible friggin'
It's a big lie.
I got this SOS pad growing on my face now, and I haven't trimmed the mustache in a while, so it's gotten to the point now where I'm like doing that involuntary like eating it thing, like you got a beard, you know what I'm talking about. Chris can't grow hair, so whatever. He's still in puberty, or before puberty, whatever you call it.
I've been in puberty forever.
But I washed it. I washed it a little bit. Like, I got to keep it clean. Yeah. And then so I got a little soap in my mouth, and then I took a hit of this shitty gas station coffee that I brought for the show tonight. And there's something about the flavor burst that happens with that. Don't do that. Little tip from Uncle Scott. Mm-hmm. Welcome to Real Crime.
That's the flavor trifecta right there.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome.
The trifecta of flavor.
For our wonderful live stream listeners, I apologize. The cast of Real Crime, episode number 76, I know is not nearly as attractive as episode number 75.
Oh, that's right.
That's not true. I think I got a good thing going on.
Oh, dang.
Okay.
We got some serious
then I'm just talking about myself.
Oh, no, you're a beautiful man, Scott.
Oh, well, thank you,
You're such a beautiful girl.
Thank you.
You're the belle of the ball.
You're a pretty little princess, Scott.
We got a scarlet on our hands.
Aww.
I did say Michelle and I saw Michelle's band play this past weekend. Well,
oh, that's right. Yeah, at the Hamtramck Music Festival.
Fantastic band.
Very ministry.
Great.
Very
ministry. Just grinding
I love
industrial.
It,
beautiful stuff.
I love it. I love it.
Michelle's badass too. I mean, I've been wanting to see her play for so long, and I was really happy. But we talked about last week's show, and she's like, I'm like, I actually listened to it. Because my rules.
Because you weren't on it.
I wasn't on it. I'm like, I listened. She's like, I'm like, it was great. I loved it. It was totally. She's like, oh wait, you listened? I'm like, yeah, but I wasn't there. So I'll totally listen to it.
He doesn't like listening to himself.
I hate the way I sound. I hate my voice, especially this week. It's all shot out. So that's why I'm drinking coffee tonight. So yeah, episode. Eat the mic. Eat the mic. So okay, episode number 76. We are here. Couple different people. Yeah. Great show last week, though. I have to say, I was really
that was fun.
That
was a lot of fun.
I was moved.
It was a great show.
I was moved. I loved it, and it was I mean, I won't lie. The reason I wasn't here last week was because there's a lot I just couldn't talk on the subject, and we agreed that maybe I should have just fucked off for the week, which I did. I went on vacation. I went to the Caribbean. Enjoyed myself. Went on a cruise.
Some dude popped up from the ocean floor trying to sell you ganja.
Yeah, it was
the best.
I bought a pile of it.
I'm sure it was the best.
That's why my voice is so hoarse right now.
Yeah.
I've been smoking weed. No, I don't.
That's not why.
I don't smoke. Shut your mouth.
All right.
I hate you.
So let's jump into our news and our sponsors.
You look good.
Thank you.
You looked good last week too.
Yeah.
You look good. You're looking sharp.
Thank you.
You're looking sharp.
You guys are so sweet to me.
Oh, thank you.
Well, the weather's changing. People are in a better mood.
Yeah.
What has this become? This has become very awkward.
What's awkward?
What's awkward?
You.
Me?
Aww.
No.
Oh.
Nothing. Just keep going.
Chris?
I was thinking out loud. Just keep going.
That's okay.
All right. So first up, we got to mention the Flint Institute of Arts. Make sure you check out their website and their weekly film series.
I flew over the Flint Institute of Arts with my helicopter over the week.
Yeah.
What a place.
Yes.
We still have to go. We're going to go. We'll be there soon.
Just when the weather picks up and we're like,
Yeah.
then it's really crappy again.
Yeah.
I actually have to go to Flint tomorrow.
Oh,
also, projectorscreen.com. I want to mention every Monday night we are doing a weekly update on the Facebook page now. Yeah. And if you visit it.
Yeah. It's rad.
And you watch the I can't. I got to stretch.
Good grief.
God.
You got it.
We got these Blu-rays to give away. The Morrissey biopic, England Is Mine, and also Frank Zappa, when Zappa came to Sicily. So visit that Monday night video. Tell us what your favorite music movie is, and you can enter to win a chance to get one of these awesome movies.
That's cool.
Enter.
Enter.
Please.
I know why
It's
not?
free.
If
It's
you
free.
don't enter, I'm gonna track your IP address and fight you.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna track your IP address and
Fucking
fuck you.
clown shoes.
Aw.
So
that
either you
hurts.
get fucked or fight. So
Yes. It's
That's
Choose
not
your own
English.
adventure.
fight or fuck. Me and
That's a
Michelle.
divorced man right there. Go ahead.
Me and Michelle will be at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas next week. I can't
Next
talk
week.
today. What is wrong with me? It's the drugs.
It's this
Sorry,
stupid
people.
camera you put on us. We were doing
Yeah,
a
I
lot
know.
better until you decided to do this thing. Now we
It's
have
true.
to deal
The
with this
camera
thing.
is
Yeah.
aimed right at my crotch, and I
Nice.
don't feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, it's right there.
It's right there. No
Harvey
one-
Weinstein
It's
pointed
huge,
it that
too.
way.
It's massive.
So in news, Guillermo del Toro won Best Picture for The Shape of Water.
Hooray!
Yeah.
In other news, Top Gun 2 is going to film this summer with a release in 2019. I'm kind of excited. 'cause-
H, you're a big Top Gun fan, I thought. Where is that one? Of you,
Yeah?
Or that am I totally for just like brain farting right
She's
now?
in disbelief right now.
I am actually.
Okay, I thought you
I
were.
had no idea this was. I love Top Gun.
Yeah, so it's gonna be
one
called
of my top 10 movies.
Top
really.
Gun Maverick.
that's what I
It's
thought.
going to be about Tom Cruise's character training a new crew of pilots, one of which is going to be Goose's son. So,
Is Tom Cruise gonna be in it?
yeah.
Oh,
He's playing Maverick again.
oh my.
Yeah.
So he's basically taking over the Tom Skerritt role. So
This
that's
is gonna
pretty
be
cool.
Amazing.
How much do you think the body oil budget is going to be on that?
I want to know how many volleyballs they're going to go
Yeah.
through.
That's the money. That's the money.
I know, right?
You can fly planes all you want.
Oh,
Wait,
man.
give me more of those beach scenes,
It would
please.
be so cool if it was seriously 80s style.
Yes.
If they just did that whole thing. Who directed Top Gun? Why am I drawing a blank right now?
Tony Scott.
Tony Scott. That's
Tony?
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
In
R.I.P.
other news, the Lost in Space trailer debuted today. It looks amazing.
Hell
That's going to
yeah.
be on Netflix. Very excited for that.
Yeah.
Also, the old kind of exploitation science fiction film Galaxina is being made into a TV series.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Crazy. They're just going back to all this old stuff and bringing it all back.
They're
for
like,
us.
what do we have the rights to?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
just makes
What can we make into a TV show?
Let's go to the trademark vault and see what
Yeah.
we have.
What do we got here?
In the strangest news of today that nobody's really going to be excited about, Nickelodeon is reviving Blue's Clues.
Oh my
Blue's
God.
Clues is coming back.
Now, 4-year-old me would have lost his
Dude.
shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before this was even on, I said I have my handy dandy notebook.
Hell
That's
yeah.
fate.
Hell yeah.
I had the chair from Blue's Clues.
Aw.
yeah.
Yeah. Now
I have no idea what you
yeah.
guys are talking about.
It was he had a
That's
red
because you're
chair.
an old bastard.
I'm an old bastard. Thanks, H.
Oh man, oh man, oh man.
No, Blue's Clues was awesome.
Although,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
it
I,
was.
lo- I
fuck
loved
Joe.
watching Blue's
Fuck
Clues.
Joe.
And hit the cocaine he snorted.
Get hit that orange shirt motherfucker. He's no Steve.
Oh, your dad's commenting. Your dad just commented
Oh,
with
you're-
or without Steve.
Oh, wait.
Obviously with Steve.
We're not sure, Dad.
Wait, your
I don't know.
your dad's listening?
He is.
Yeah.
And he's listening to you cuss?
Yeah.
You're gonna have a very red ass later tonight.
Yeah. You're gonna get the spanky
You're in
spanky.
I'm
trouble.
used-
Liam's Sorry, Liam's dad. Sorry.
All right. In new releases this week, we've got A Wrinkle in Time,
Yeah.
The Strangers 2, Pray at Night, Thoroughbreds, Gringo, and Hurricane Heist. Dana's got a review coming up of A Wrinkle in Time.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to be seeing Gringo tomorrow night, and also I'll probably see the Stranger sequel too, just because I
You know,
love the
I was
first.
just going to say, is that a sequel? Because I keep seeing it, and I was like, wasn't there already a Strangers movie?
Yeah,
But
It looks
yeah, I didn't realize there was a subtitle.
very much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
you know.
sure it'll be neat. Like the first one had some pretty cool deaths and stuff in it.
Yep.
Yeah. Death.
So,
Death.
suggested viewings for this week.
Chris, you start.
I'm going to start. I was kind of going off the topic for this week. So, number one, I'm going to suggest Annihilation again
I did 2
because
weeks
I
in a row.
saw it
Damn it,
again.
I gotta see it again.
I saw it
can't
again.
see it.
It's a fantastic science fiction film, and the creature design in this movie
I'm
is
going.
amazing.
I gotta go in the
All
next
right,
You
couple
have to
days.
see it. And then also, I am going to mention Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, starring Robert De Niro and Kenneth Branagh. That is a great film.
That
so,
is a great
thank
film.
you. Golf clap.
Great
Golf
job,
clap.
Chris.
Yeah.
That's a
Excellent
great
job.
film.
Trump never gets those. So.
Oh.
Moving on to Miss Heather.
H.
All right. Okay. So I kind of have 3.
Okay.
All right.
We're never
since-
getting out of here
since
tonight.
Chris got to no. All right. The first one I will say I'm watching The Alienist on TNT.
Yes.
And if you don't know what it is, Daniel Bruhl. God damn it, Chris. Daniel Bruhl is in it. Luke
contagious.
Evans and Dakota Fanning. It's about the early, well, I guess the late 19th century New York. So this is right around the time that Jack the Ripper apparently escaped from London. I'm not saying that it's about Jack the Ripper, but there's some crazy mutilation deaths in it. So I'm wondering if that's where we're going. But it's a really, really cool show. The production design and the music is top notch. And it's
I gotta
like
check that out.
Yeah, it's a really good show.
It's worth watching.
It is.
I've seen
I
the
really
first
do like it.
5 of them, and they're really good.
They're really good. It's slow and even like the technically boring parts where they're just talking is just super fascinating because they're doctors and you know it's into the human mind, and that's his job. He's an alienist, you know. He's a psychoanalyst, especially for criminals and children. So it's really cool to hear.
Cool.
As a psych major, it's really cool to hear that.
Cool.
My second one is kind of it's called LA to Vegas. It's another TV show that I watch.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Dylan McDermott stars in it, and he's
Okay.
it's literally just about a plane flight from LA to Vegas on the weekend, and it's I just actually learned this today on the episode that I was watching before this. Will Ferrell and Adam McKay are executive producers.
Nice.
It's really funny. It's so stupid. It's like Reno 911, just
Yeah.
not as vulgar, and it's really funny.
I gotta check that out.
And then I will say, no, I'm sorry. This will be quick.
It's all good.
You just
Okay.
punched the mic. Why?
I did.
She
All
has
right,
something
so-
wrong with that. She's like, Apollo Creed, you're going down. Wham.
Netflix,
If
our
he
buddies
dies,
at
he
Netflix, they've just added a bunch of movies, and Jesse and I watched this one called Veronica last night.
Oh, that's on my list. I've
I've
been
heard
hearing
a
that
lot
there's
about
a sick campaign going on about that flick right now.
I liked it. It's decent. It's a Spanish film. It's set in Madrid in 1991. So
They're saying it's so scary you have to turn it off halfway through.
no.
Okay,
I
This
felt
is
that
here-
about the Emoji Movie. That doesn't
Oh
mean
shit. Well, this is I said this last night. Like, if it was
I
an
love you,
American
Liam.
movie,
Yeah.
it would probably be pretty bad. But I think because it's Spanish, the acting was. I always say this with foreign films. I always find foreign films to be better for
Because
whatever.
they are.
Well, for whatever reason, the acting just seems better, and there's something about having to read what people are saying and then also paying attention to what's actually happening that makes it more.
Well, you're more dialed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this is like, if this was an American film, it would have been your run-of-the-mill horror movie, possession film, you know. But because it's in Spanish, I feel like there's a whole lot more going for it. There are some parts in it where you're like, all right, get on with it. You know, like, I knew this, you know. But it was really interesting to see this possession movie, but from the Spanish perspective.
Yeah.
So I suggest watching that. It's not very long.
Okay.
It's
I know.
like,
I
it's
actually
like
have
1 hour and
I'm looking
43
forward
minutes.
It's on my literal to-do list this
Yeah.
week. I have to
Yeah.
watch that.
It's
All
a
right,
good watch.
Liam, give us one.
I have a couple recommendations.
Oh,
I'm gonna,
sweet.
yeah.
People are watching stuff lately.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of things. So these are the movies and shows that have stuck with me. I watched this show called Crashing. It's on HBO, and it's this guy, Pete Holmes, and he's a stand-up comedian. And the premise of the show is he's crashing on a different comedian's couch. So there's ones with, there's
right.
episodes with Artie Lang, which are really great. There's the one with Bill Burr.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Dude.
so
Sold.
it's just...
I'm sold.
Yeah, and it's a really fascinating show, and it's goes into the comedy world in a way that a lot of shows don't really.
I listen to a lot of comedy podcasts, a handful of them, and where they get into like the life. Mm-hmm. So I find anything like now after listening to that stuff, hearing about what the job of a comedian, like a road comedian or somebody, like they have different names. I find that fascinating. So that sounds really
and
cool.
it touches into it, and it's an interesting show. The second thing I'm going to recommend is Game Night.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Hip hip! I'm so glad.
I saw this and I was like, it's a comedy. You don't have high hopes. This is.
But my man Jason Bateman's in it.
He's great.
This
is like the equivalent of if David Fincher did a comedy. It's kind of like it's a riff on The Game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I was shocked by how funny it was. Like Jesse Plemons, who's Meth Damon, if you've seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Or,
Meth Damon, for sure.
USS Callister. He's the creepiest thing on that episode of Black Mirror. He's hilarious in this movie. And it's a comedy that made me laugh, and you should go see it.
Yeah. Cool.
And then the last one's Paddington 2, because fuck yeah, Paddington's great. I have a whole theory about Shape of Water and Paddington that we can get into.
That could be an article.
Yeah.
It will be, but I think it would read like a deranged, crazy person.
That's okay.
That's all right.
All right, Scott, spit one out so we can get into our topic tonight.
Yeah. I've been still falling deeper into the rabbit hole of classic gaming. Which we have to discuss that, Chris, because I might be trying some different stuff to do
what you
writing.
want. We have free reign to do
classic
whatever we
rating
want.
And classic porno. I think I want to start doing reviews on all that. Right.
Awesome.
I watched a great documentary a few days ago, which my review, I don't know if it's up yet. I did submit a review for it, and it's Polybius, the video game that doesn't exist.
That one's not up yet, but Noodler is.
Okay, Noodler, or Nibbler,
yeah.
Man versus Snake.
I got penis on the brain.
Yeah, well, all the time. Yeah. So, Polybius, the video game that doesn't exist. It's a great little hour-long documentary. And I really like to when we do these suggestions, I like to give people stuff that you can just see on YouTube for free, like really easy. Go up there and just slam it. It's there. YouTube manages whatever they manage, right? But this doesn't seem to have any issues. It's been there for a while from the post date, right? So it's like a great hour-long. Maybe a little longer, but it's this documentary on this very mysterious game called Polybius, and it's been kind of proven that the game never really existed, but there's just a lot of weird conspiracy stuff around it. I can't say that it really, is a real game or not, but the story of all the research this gentleman did, Stuart Moore, I think is the guy who did the film. I might get the name wrong. He directed it and he narrates it, and he basically goes through all the facts and the story of supposedly this game appeared in arcades in like 1981, and it was causing all kinds of weird shit. That people were having delusions. They were passing out. They were getting sick.
Oh yeah.
So they go into a lot of the psychedelic gaming things that people used to do games with like lots of psychedelics. It goes into all type of different directions in a very short time. And I just thought the story was really interesting. Whether it's a real game or not, don't matter. It's just a really cool documentary to watch.
Cool.
I think we now have our podcast topic for next week.
Oh shit.
I think we should do one on classic video games next week.
Really?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay, well, we can talk about that.
Yeah,
we can discuss that.
I will not be there.
I can't wait to listen.
I'm not.
That's going to be the old folks.
Games.
That's going to be the old man show.
Michelle should be on that one.
That's going to be the 40 and 40. Yeah, Michelle isn't 40 though.
But yeah, a lot of the younger people are into the retro games now.
Well, it's a growing thing now. I'm finding like all the. This is just something I just was like. It wasn't something that I was like, oh boy, retro gaming. This looks like something to do. It was just something I fell into again and said, man, I'm going to break all my old gear out and play around. This will be fun. And it all still works. A testament to how good that shit was made back in the day. Atari made some good computers. So, yeah, it's something I just fell into. But now, as a result of that, I'm doing all this research and reading and nerding out. And I'm seeing, there's a whole thing of like, if it's 10 years or older, it's considered a retro game now.
Yeah.
Right? So it's considered antique, which shows you the technology, how fast it moves. So it's an interesting thing that's happening, and we can maybe explore that if you want, Chris. But yeah, Polybius, the video game that doesn't exist. You can watch it right on YouTube. Go on there, watch it. It's a quick, easy watch. Not a big investment of time, and I think you'll enjoy it if you're into old games and stuff. Moving on.
Moving on.
Nude.
Are we ready?
Let's take our clothes off and go at it.
Yes.
Because we have a camera in front of us now.
Yep. Things about to get nasty,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
This is why you watch the podcast.
I
Yeah.
know.
I've had a face for radio since I started back in 1847.
Yes.
And
1847.
yeah.
The ripe old age of 15.
Yeah.
So tonight we're talking about.
That's like the 7th time that I've said that on here. Jesse being the first one.
Oh.
All right,
Go.
go.
What's the
We're-
show about?
So tonight we're talking about creatures on film
And why is that though?
because
Well,
a movie just won the Oscar that was about a creature.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shape of Water.
Ooh.
The
Yeah.
Shape of Water.
And we thought that'd be a good.
Inspiration.
We thought that'd be a good topic to explore
Yeah,
this week.
something we've never really touched on before.
Well, the problem that not it isn't a problem, but the longer this show goes, and we're pretty old now.
Yeah.
We cover a lot of topics here when it comes
Yeah,
to
we
movies.
do.
And there's always, and I'll keep reiterating this, there's always this bleed over. And it, sometimes it can be kind of frustrating because it's like, well, man, this movie covers like 4 or 5 different genres.
Right.
Right? And I don't want us to be redundant, but there's so much great film in this, what I guess we'd call a creature film, a creature feature. There's a lot of
creature
different
feature.
things, right? So I saw that when I was doing at least my research for it. There was there's been a couple we've mentioned in the past, but I guess we're coming at it from a different angle though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what makes it interesting. So that's cool. So I mean, I don't know who wants to launch. I like this whole let's just go nuts with it and just go crazy. Right?
Well, we can go as crazy as we want. The first creature I'm going to mention is from the movie I have suggested the last 2 weeks. The refracted bear creature from Annihilation
See, I gotta see it.
is one
damn
of
it.
the freakiest things I've seen in years in a movie.
Yes.
Like, you are literally shitting your pants. When this creature comes into the movie, shit changes. Like the first time you saw the xenomorph and you were like, oh,
Fuck me, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
That scene, it's probably one of the scariest
It's-
things I've seen in the last decade.
I gotta go see
Yeah.
this
wow.
movie.
It's up there.
Is it CGI and all that?
I think it's part of it is a mixture. I know
Okay.
that I read somewhere that they had a name for it where it was Paddington because it was the same people who fucking worked on Paddington
Oh,
made
really?
this bear.
Oh wow.
Okay, this
they
is
were-
where the whole thing's coming from.
There's a method to my madness. But when we went to my friend and I went to go see this movie on Friday, and when that scene happened, I went back in my chair, and I can't remember a movie making me grip a chair like
Yeah.
that. in a
Well, when you
while.
hear the sound the first time, you're
Yeah.
like, what is that? And then it enters the room and you're like, ho ho.
Yeah.
And it had the same effect on me both times that I saw it.
Ooh.
It's
I think
scary.
it's-
It's
it's-
really, really scary.
I mean, I gotta go. I mean, it's been this shit's
It's
been going
coming
on.
to
You guys know.
Netflix in a couple of weeks.
That's
Annihilation?
I think that's
No, it will
international.
international. It won't be on Netflix here for a few months still.
Oh really?
I'll see it. I'll see it in the
The
theater.
there
way the
was,
movie was released was really screwed up. The movie was held back for 2 years. It was actually completed in 2016, and they held it back because they didn't really know how to release it.
Okay.
So that's kind of why it got this late winter release in the U.S.
Yeah.
But in all other markets, it's being released
It's a
on
Netflix
streaming.
thing.
So
Wow.
basically, you can guarantee in a couple weeks it'll probably be on the torrent sites.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
okay.
everybody's gonna
Okay.
snag it.
Which is fucked up for that movie.
Yeah.
Paramount going, well, we'll just dump this movie. I think if they released this in June or July, it might have had a bigger chance.
Yeah.
You're this in February after Black Panther?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it was really bad marketing, but they just didn't understand what to do with it, So,
I have to see it.
yeah, you gotta see it. H, give us a
H.
creature. Give us one that
Can
makes
you
you poop your
guys-
pants.
Poop my pants.
Poop them.
Well,
Poop my pants.
Poop my pants. Poop
all
them.
right. Well, I was going to go off with my favorite creature.
Do it.
And can you guess who
Oh
it is?
yeah, big surprise. Yeah, and that's why I'm keeping my mouth shut. Go, do it.
Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
That's my baby boy.
I have it on my
but-
list. But I knew this was H's. This
Yeah.
is
mostly,
Spotlight.
Mostly, I guess the comics. He looks so fucking cool in the comics, but the movies, I will say the first movie is pretty dope though. The
Yeah.
very first, and being able to actually see him for the first time, and I don't even think then that people were really fully aware of what Swamp Thing was as a comic, and even though Alan Moore wrote the comic, but who was the woman in the first one?
Adriana Barbeau.
There we go. Thank you. I actually looked when I was writing this list out. I wanted to look at him again, and I remember him from looking a little plasticky, and I was
Very rigid.
I was kind of right, but it was still really cool because they just put this man in a costume, you know.
But the practical effects work on that was really great.
Oh, yeah,
though.
that's what I mean. Like, it was so cool
I
to have
thought-
like a
Yeah.
physical representation of that. Like
I
nowadays, if
like
Swamp
that
Thing got made.
rigidness, though.
Oh
You know?
no! If you look at Swamp Thing in the comic books, he is very rigid,
I
and
like
he's
that.
got a lot of twigs, and he's
Yeah,
you know,
he's
not,
made it- he's
shaped differently.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. You know, like the one thing that really stuck out to me, because I've watched that movie a million times when I was a kid, was like his shoulder blade, like his shoulder bones. They were basically like wood.
Yeah, they're
I thought that was
they're just like
Yeah.
tree
I
limbs,
thought that,
basically.
and I thought that was just fantastic. But yeah, I thought that rigidness, at least in the film, that kind of added to the whole mystique of what the Swamp Thing was.
Oh
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Alec Holland's story is super tragic, and then it's absolutely beautiful that he, the swamp, they turn him into this Swamp Thing because they really appreciated what he was doing for the earth.
Yeah.
So and I mean, unfortunately, they all they could do was just grab what they had around them. So it's kind of just like, whatever.
Adriana Barbeau.
Yeah.
Why do we have to have a
And-
camera on us this week?
Yeah. Oh.
So I'd like to actually. This is a perfect transition for that because she is in my other really big mention.
I think I know.
Creep Show,
I
baby.
think Daddy knows.
Oh yeah. Well,
Turn the camera off now. Turn the camera off.
I can't pick one creature from that movie, really, but
The fucking beast in the box, dude. Come on. That
I
was
have
the
to go
shit.
with Father's Day.
Well, that
because,
was
yeah.
the Creep Show, and this is what I'm
The
talking about.
makeup in that
Yeah.
movie is
This
just
is what I'm talking about with the crossover
incredible.
thing. Because we've talked about Creep Show on the show
several times.
but like that fucking movie, Father's Day and
Sorry.
Beast in the Box.
Dude, she's
Yeah.
like
Shore.
she is like Rocky tonight.
I
She
know,
is
it's
like
just in my way.
She's like pumped up,
Yeah.
ready to go.
I love you, Adrian.
And then the one can't remember what the
Shore.
short is called. Oh, is that what
Shore.
it's called? Yeah,
Oh,
those people
man.
look so incredible.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah,
You can hold your breath. Oh my God, it fucks me up when I think about it.
yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
That's
heavy.
probably the one that makes me poop my pants. Is
Yeah.
is Father's Day and Beast in the Box. and-
Father's Day, and I know I've said this in the past, and I'll say it again. The opening, the sequence where the woman's sitting on her father's grave, and she does that. I forgot who the woman was. I should look it up. She just does that beautifully executed speech with her father.
Oh yeah.
And they had the score was perfect behind her. And she just basically, you start like going, oh my God, this woman was so abused. She was
Right, yeah.
treated like total shit. And now here she is on her father's grave talking shit to him.
Yeah.
And she's thinking, okay,
As she's
whatever.
drinking
And then,
and-
yeah, she's getting fucked up. And then you just see the hand come out of the ground. And you're like, dude, don't end.
Yeah.
You're done, dude.
And young Ed Harris is in that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah. The dance scene.
Yeah.
Oh.
Those pants, man. That bulge.
He has to
All right.
dance over to the phone. That was my favorite part. I love that part, dude. It's so great. You know what? Well, go ahead. You mentioned Ed Harris, but you know what? I'll wait for you. Well, no, it's cool. Liam,
it's funny, Scott. We have basically the same list.
do we?
Yeah, we do.
Liam, you throw a monkey wrench in this because we're gonna.
That's
yeah.
perfect because I have no list. I'm just going off memories and things.
Yeah.
Trying to.
That's
think
what I
of it.
tried to do.
Yeah.
do
Well, come
at
on,
the-
Liam.
in the
That's
That's
first
how I
one.
roll. I'm gonna go with the first thing that scared me as a kid, the Xenomorph.
Ooh, yeah.
The
Thank you.
Xenomorph, I saw bits and pieces of Alien.
It's kind of like the xenomorph in the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's there.
shot.
You had to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
But I remember
Yeah, totally.
seeing the John Hurt writhing, and it's
Yeah.
just like, oh
Dude.
my God, what's wrong with that dude? And it just bursts out. And I always remember the woman going, "Oh my God!" That is burned.
Veronica
into my,
Cartwright?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's burned into my brain, and just terror of
Ridley
seeing
Scott. He didn't. I mean, he knew it was going to happen. That's in the lore of the film now.
Yeah.
He planned that and didn't tell the cast. He didn't tell anybody that was going to happen. So a lot of those reactions they got,
Yeah.
and I know on the DVD set that I have, the new anthology when they released a couple of years ago, they actually have all the alternate takes from different angles, the raw takes.
Oh, I wonder
and
if
they
that's
show.
on that.
I mean, it's like very it's like there's no sound effects, so all you're getting is just the friggin' I just punched the damn mic.
What
now.
is happening here?
It's just
Everybody
in the
is
way,
amped
man.
up and ready to
Well,
fight.
we are. We're totally amped up. But
Yeah.
you get these really great angles, like different
Yeah.
angles, and you get to see all these people freaking out.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to see everybody freak out. You get to see
That's
Veronica
true.
Cartwright. She totally freaked out.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, because she gets splattered in
Yeah.
the face.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and they did the same thing in Prometheus too.
Yeah.
Right.
With the snake thing.
Yep.
Same idea. But yeah, that totally wasn't planned. And yeah, I mean, dude, I think everybody in this room.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not trying to steamroll you, dude.
No,
but
that's not steamrolling. That's
totally
perfect.
we're in the same that chest burster scene, and
Yeah.
I know we've said it before, and we're going to keep fucking
Yeah.
saying it because it's one of the greatest movies ever made, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
That just not when we saw that happen when we were you saw it. Don't matter when you saw it.
Yeah.
You saw it.
It's still the same.
It don't matter what year you saw
Yeah.
it, and
It's
it
the
matters
same
when you saw it.
effect.
It's the same effect. It's that damn good. It holds up that well still to this day. Mm-hmm. Right?
It's
it's
that's the sign of the movie.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
That's what should. Oh, wait, hold on. That's what a good movie should do. You know.
yeah, it should scar you.
It should make you be terrified of
Well,
things.
like
Yes.
Dana said 2 weeks ago, it should stick with you. You know, like
Yeah.
something like that sticks with you and has an impact on you, and actually kind of sculpts who you grow up to be if you really think about it, because
Yeah.
you're always constantly remembering this one thing.
Yeah.
You know.
You're
So-
constantly holding your chest, going, "Please, no, no."
Oh yeah, right.
That
You-
has
you're done
made me
running on
scared of
track meet, you're like,
intestinal things.
You wear a gas mask every night to
Oh
bed.
god!
Every time
I'm
I
on
get
the
the
edge.
every time I get the shits, I'm like, it's a xenomorph.
It's gonna happen.
It's a
I'm
chest
gonna have an
burster.
alien baby.
It's a butt burster.
It was
butt
funny though
burster.
because it was like last
That'd be
week or the week
scary.
before I had Taco Bell.
Oh, come on! Really,
You
you're
know,
gonna go
Now
all
you're
day?
setting yourself
Yeah.
up.
Oh
Stop
no.
I took a dump and
Oh, my
I
God.
messaged Michelle and Andrew. I'm like, I just took a dump and it looked like the xenomorph.
What has this become?
This is what you
I'm
text
just
people.
telling you. Yeah, yeah. I should have taken a photo, but
Yeah.
I flushed too soon.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
Ah,
Well, you've been
You
doing it like
shot
that.
it
for-
out the airlock.
It was a waste.
I'm here all night.
Sorry, we're killing the levels here. Yeah,
the
we're-
levels are just
Thank you. Thank you.
That was worth it, man. You can
It
fix
was
that
worth
in
it.
post.
It
It's
was
all right.
fine.
put it in post.
It was her fault.
Hey.
It's okay.
If it's funny, it works.
The problem here is, here's the problem. We have a light. It's this fucking camera. Because I can see you idiots now. Before I couldn't see anybody because I'm old and my eyes don't work anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm seeing you guys. This is a real problem. You should turn the camera off.
No.
Come on.
Every week.
Turn off the
Well,
light.
okay, if we're keeping the camera on. We got to quit talking about
light.
Adriana Barbeau.
All right.
This is our really avant-garde podcast. It's going
Yes.
to be
Yeah.
all black and white, and there's going to be industrial noise, and
But no, going back to Alien.
is going to give birth.
Honestly, all of the alien movies, even in Prometheus, the little snakes and the engineers,
Yeah.
like
Yes,
all of
that
the
was
alien
terrible.
movies.
All the creature design in those movies.
I was
Yeah,
thinking I
absolutely.
didn't dig Alien Covenant that much. I still think of that backburster thing. I thought
Yeah.
that was
That
the
was
coolest.
great.
I was
That was
like,
really
Yeah.
cool.
more of
It was a
that,
different
more
idea.
of that.
It
Yeah.
was a totally different idea.
Yeah.
And that probably that scene you're talking about in Alien Covenant. Chris hates that movie, but
Yeah.
Michelle just said Prometheus.
yeah. So, but that scene in Alien Covenant with that backburster,
Yeah.
that is
That
one
was
of those.
interesting.
That's
That's a
on the
highlight.
same. I mean, the problem is we're so desensitized now. We've seen all this crazy shit before,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but that really was, a special piece. I think that was
Yeah.
something different. And it was a different interpretation of what the xenomorph does, and this.
Yeah.
Those
It's the
are actually
beginning.
neomorphs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the beginning of them.
So,
those
but
the-
that was bad, and the guy just kind of fell back.
Yeah,
that was
he's
fucked up with it.
That was
Yeah.
that was. I wish there was more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
More movies need things coming out of people's back.
But yeah, even Alien Resurrection, which I think everybody can agree is probably.
Oh, dude,
Oh,
the baby. Well, she wasn't
Yeah.
a baby, but she was a child.
The creature
Yeah.
design
The
was
creature
amazing
design,
in that.
The
yeah.
though.
creature design looked really good, but it wasn't executed very well.
No.
Such a
That's all right.
beautiful,
And I just, the problem I've had,
baby.
the main problem I had with Resurrection was simply that they turned the xenomorph into a play dog to a certain degree.
Sure.
They were getting it to obey, and it's like you don't get the xenomorph don't obey shit, but what it's supposed to do in the hive. That's the rule.
Yeah.
Let's blow some air on it. That'll piss it off. Okay, great. Brad Dourif sitting there showing his teeth to it and shit. I'm like, what's going on here? Stop.
All right, let's get off Alien. We've spent so much time talking about Alien. Let's move on. Give us a new one, Scott.
Well,
something fresh, something
Okay,
new.
well, I'm glad I kept my train of thought here. Ed Harris was brought up a few minutes ago. Now, what I was looking at when I was looking at creatures is, there's tons of creature monster films where you just have this menacing thing that kills people.
Yeah.
Not quite with Swamp. Swamp Thing was
No.
Swamp Thing's in the same level, I think, because you do have this disturbing looking thing.
Right.
But then, over the course of the film, you start rooting for it, right?
Right.
We've seen this a lot. I remember when I first saw, this is not same, but kind of the same, when I first saw The Elephant Man. The
Oh,
Elephant Man.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
see,
When
that's another good
when
one
I first
too,
saw-
That was on my list.
Yeah, when I first saw that man, I was like, oh my God, horrifying, right? But that's why it's such a beautiful story, because when you finally get to the end, you're like, oh my God, I don't want to see him go.
Yeah.
You're in love with that man. He's a beautiful feeling man who's an artist, So I like that idea that you have these disturbing things when you see them initially, but then you they grow on you and you learn to love them. Now, The Abyss, right? That kind of takes that idea. However, the creatures in that film they're omnipotent when you meet them, and that's how they end up. You have a creature, you have kind of a couple different creatures, right?
Yeah.
But the way that movie plays out, you just, how do I say this? I'm blowing my brain out. They're obviously good guys. What else to say? They're these beautiful creatures. They're perceived different.
I think they're just indifferent.
Yeah. Well,
Because they're not of.
They're there to help.
Here. Yeah.
They're there to help. But you have, the real monsters in the film
Are us.
Are us, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You have opposing forces fighting over this. You have one side thinking that they're evil, and you have another side going, no, they're not evil. They're cool as hell. Leave them alone, right? They're here to help us. It's cool. But the Abyss is a different take, I think, on a creature film. Just on that, right? They don't look disturbing. They're actually beautiful. They're angelic looking. They manipulate water. It's cool. And then we actually get to see them, the real deal. Which one of my favorite scenes in movies is Ed Harris when they take him into like that where they split the water.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool.
It is cool.
And there's Ed Harris standing there because Ed Harris is just badass all day long in that movie. And he just looks at he meets him. And there's no dialogue,
Yeah.
but they just nod to each other. Mm-hmm. And they just, he's like, yeah, I'm a badass. I just went 500 miles under the sea. I'm just, whatever.
Yeah.
But
He's like a little mermaid,
But I think,
but bald.
but I have
male.
pointed out. I mean, I think
Has a
Ed
pee-pee.
Harris. That's probably Ed Harris's best movie he ever did, in my opinion. The acting, I know I've mentioned it when he just goes so completely insane in that one part.
Yeah.
He blows his voice out, literally. The Abyss is a cool, different take on the creature or the monster film, I think. And it's one of my all-time favorite movies too. I can watch that movie over and over and over.
Me too.
Never
Me
gets
That's
boring,
because
man.
Jimmy Cameron is the man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've
All right,
said
Chris.
that thousands of times too.
I love that movie so much, Chris.
One of my favorite creatures of all time, and I actually just watched this movie again a couple months ago, the Gorilla Wolf motherfuckers from Attack the Block.
Yeah, I
yes.
have that on my list too.
They're so cool because they're like animated,
Yeah.
but they've got that just awesome texture to them, and you don't really know exactly what they are. And the
they're
way they
so
move,
dark.
Yeah.
it's very much kind of like how the Xenomorph was introduced,
Yeah.
very kind of mysterious. They just show up out of nowhere
Yeah.
and start killing shit, and they're super fast and evil, and they just tear shit up. And I just love that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
And John Boyega is
Yeah.
awesome in that movie,
Yeah.
too.
That's really good
so
in that movie.
that's one of my favorite modern
We got to give
creatures.
Joe Cornish more movies.
Yeah.
Like yesterday.
Yes, agreed.
H.
What? Oh, I was gonna any Star
Spit
Wars
it out,
creature,
woman. Spit it out.
Any Star Wars character. One of my personal favorites is a Salacious Crumb, but
I'm looking
I just think
forward
he's
to
the
his
cutest
spin-off
little
movie.
thing ever. But
The
Jesus.
Salacious Crumb spin-off.
I'm
We need an
Please, God,
origin
no.
story for Salacious.
I'm
It's
looking
happening.
forward to it.
please,
Yeah, great.
God, no.
Now they have the idea.
But,
now it's all over with.
I'm
yeah,
looking
but
for
just
the check
any
in the
Star
mail,
Wars
Lucasfilm.
creature.
Okay.
The creature designs in those movies are, Jesus.
The Rancor. That
Yeah.
was one that I have.
Mm-hmm.
The Rancor monster in Return of the Jedi
Oh, wow.
is so
Insane
cool
looking.
You know, you can tell the green screen work and everything in it. You can see
Yeah,
the
but-
differentiation between Luke and the Rancor. They do not exist in the same space, but that's
So what?
beside the point. The creature design
Yeah.
is top notch
Yeah, it's
on
really
the
neat.
Rancor. And also the Sarlacc pit.
Oh, of course.
I mean,
Space vagina.
But the first
With
version
teeth.
of it, not
But belches.
yeah,
not the
Yeah.
revised.
the
direct-
revised one.
That was
sucks.
really screwed up. When we were kids seeing that, like for the first time, that was very disturbing.
And then it burping, and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's like a for real thing.
Well, yeah, it's a living being.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know, but as a kid watching Star Wars, I was like, oh no, this pit. And then it burps. I was like, oh, it's like for really real. It's like
Yeah.
alive, you know? Like it needed to burp in order for me to realize what was
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
happening.
Yeah, yeah. Liam.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go for a friendly creature. He's not from a creature feature, but I love this character. He's from Harry Potter. He's Dobby the house elf.
Aw.
Yeah.
I love Dobby because he's on the surface, he's like the most annoying thing in the world. He's just an elf who's like, don't do that. He's stopping our main character from doing things. And then he comes in and he's like a hero and he has his own little arc. And he's just entertaining to look at. He has like little big bulging eyes, like looking at you like he's just adorable.
He kind of looks like Jar Jar Binks.
He does, but I like
But way less
Dobby
annoying.
more than
But way
Jar
less
Jar.
annoying.
I would
Yes.
hang out with Dobby. Jar Jar I would stab.
I mean, I would stab either or.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I could tolerate Dobby for
Sure,
a little
yeah.
longer. You could give him a sock
I
and
was just
Dobby
gonna
will fuck
say,
off.
I'd give him my sock and tell him to leave. Aw.
Get out of here, Dobby.
That's another good. That whole series,
Mm-hmm.
the stuff in that. Oh, what's his name? The guy that plays, Willow.
Oh,
Davis.
Thank you. He's
Yeah.
in the Harry Potter series. He's like the teacher at Hogwarts. Or
He's in
whatever.
like everything.
Yeah, I know.
He's in everything.
But just it's just so cool because I mean, for as much CGI as in Harry Potter series,
There
there's
is
a
some
lot
cool
of
prosthetic
really
stuff.
really cool prosthetic
Yeah.
stuff. So like I mean like Hagrid for
Yeah.
I mean come on.
Yeah. Well, speaking of men who have been in everything, the one I want to mention is the movie Tremors from 1990. It has Kevin Bacon.
Dude, we have the same freaking list.
Tremors is.
I
we
gotta
saw that
cross
in the
off
theater.
Bad Boy.
That was awesome because
I
those
love
creatures at the time, that was like nothing you ever really saw.
Yeah.
You know, I guess we could say like, you know, maybe the sandworms in Dune. There was
That's on
some
my
type
list
of
too.
there was. Well, I mean, I'm just talking about, you know, some type of thing to compare it to.
Yeah.
But the burrowers in Tremors, what I thought was, you know,
Oh, you call them burrowers?
they do have a real name.
They
don't
have like 7 names.
Yeah,
Graboid is what
Graboid.
he calls
Graboid
them
is
the
the
official
very
name,
first time.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, the Graboids.
There you go.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
It's
We're
same
proud
thing.
of you.
You're welcome.
They, you know, the movie progresses, I think, and what the fuck, guys? Seriously, shut up, all of you.
I'm looking at you, but through Liam.
Oh, well, then now I can see you. Oh, hi. The Graboids. We get to watch, you know, them discover kind of like how they operate. You know, you think when you first see these things, you're like, you can't stop this shit.
Yeah.
You can't survive these things. They eat cars, for Christ's sake. It's insane.
Yeah.
You know, but I thought they were a very, like, you know, a lot of these creatures we see, like, you know, I mentioned the Abyss, like that's something like so otherworldly. These are literally aliens, right? They're so, you know, they're so above us in technology, it seems. But now we're dealing with something that's basically
So
a freaking
below us?
dinosaur. It's a dinosaur. Yeah, oh, they are. Literally, they're below us. But they're dinosaurs. They're aggressive creatures. And I mean, the first, like, 45 minutes of that film, it's like, they're not going to be able to stop these things. How do you stop these
And
things?
you barely even see it until
No.
at the very end of the movie, you
Yeah.
know?
But then, you get to see, as the film progresses, they're finding ways they can kill these things.
Yeah.
But I think there was just something so raw and dirty and cool about the graboids in Tremors. I know they did about 15 sequels to that movie, and I'm sure they all.
There's
look the same.
Tremors 6 is getting ready to come out,
Oh, man. Dude, the first three, I love the first three.
So I only saw the first one.
and
I hear
then
about
Kevin Bacon is making a TV show of Tremors.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Tremors
Really?
is a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yeah.
Cool flick though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just one of those
Yeah.
ones.
The sequel's really good.
I never saw it.
The sequel's even better.
Jamie Kennedy is in the new ones, and they're terrible. That guy just sucks.
Jamie Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy sucks.
His
You
documentary.
hear that?
Listening to
You
this,
hear that?
Jamie
I'm
Kennedy.
looking at you, Jamie.
I
Take
like-
Take
it.
that, Jamie Kennedy.
Take
I like
Take it
Jamie
all.
Kennedy.
Take that.
I like Heckler. I like that
I
documentary.
do. That was a
Yeah.
great flick.
That was a cool documentary. But yeah, Tremors I thought was a really neat, and those were monsters, man. Those were
Yeah,
like
those were
true
monsters.
They were scary. They were damn
They were
near
scary.
unstoppable. And they were really, they were just disturbing to look at.
They're kind of like the Xenomorphs as to.
But you got
how
more of a
they
comic
just-
take. That was more of a, lighthearted type
Oh
film.
no, I just mean like
Yeah.
the surviving
Yeah,
aspect
yeah.
of them. They're literally just this creature that
Yeah.
we find and
They're a force of nature.
yeah,
is what
they
are.
just
But it's the
eat
mood
and
was lighter
produce.
though. The mood was lighter. That was I found that interesting too about the movie. Was just that is that
Oh,
there was still a
right.
lot of comedy, and you got the gun nuts.
yeah.
You got all this goofy shit going on. That guy was in Family Ties, one of the gun nuts. I thought.
Yeah.
He was
he's
the father from
he's
Family
the
Ties.
dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Tremors. That's one of my picks.
I'm
The
going to mention.
graboids.
I want to mention the best practical effect creature of all
Here
time.
it comes.
Here it comes. I gotta cross one
comes.
off
Are
my
you ready?
list.
Are
Yep.
you guys ready?
Yep.
Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah. Thank you.
That is a
I
bad.
actually thought you were going some other
ass.
place, but
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
I
too.
have that on my
Yeah.
list too.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, I
movie's
have
shit.
Aubrey 2 on here.
Audrey is so
God,
cool,
I see
and the
that earlier.
movement is so realistic,
Yeah.
and it holds up.
Oh.
30 years later, the movie still
Looks
looks
great.
great. It sounds great. It's an awesome movie in
It is
general.
a great
Yeah.
movie.
But Audrey 2, hands down, one of the best
Practical,
creatures.
yeah.
Absolutely.
practical creatures.
We get
of
Bill
all
Yeah.
Murray
time.
and Steve Martin in one, and together.
Yeah,
Which I
yeah.
just probably some of the funniest things I've ever seen with him just drilling on him, going, "Oh yes, yes."
There was like I
Cracks
can't
me
remember
up every time,
what the number is, but there was quite a bit of people who actually had to maneuver Audrey 2. The bigger it got, there was like more and more people who actually had to
the
maneuver.
the puppeteers.
Yeah.
I mean, that was all practical effects. I mean, that's what it was back then. Was all
Yeah.
there was no CGI with that, and it just looks so good.
Yeah, well, that's a testament to what practical
me,
effects
Simo.
do.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Feed me,
Feed me
Seymour.
all night
Everything
long,
in that
all
movie
shit.
was so cool looking.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, that was one of those movies back in the day that my mom taped for some reason. So
Aw.
we had a videotape of that, so we'd watch that over and over again. So I know all the damn lines. And yeah, great flick. Totally great pick on that one, dude. You can't. That's a hard one to top
It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
because it looks that good.
It
It
does look that
does.
good still.
All right,
H.
H.
It's coming back around.
All right. So for those of you guys who don't know,
I know all. So
okay, well, I love X-Files.
okay.
Love
Yeah.
X-Files. It's not my number one show because Battlestar Galactica will own that forever, probably.
Okay.
But X-Files, I'm a huge X-Files fan. And I know it's a TV show, but
Doesn't matter.
the creatures in that show are so frightening. Even like the silliest ones are still so terrifying. But I put down two of the ones that I will never forget. I actually have dreams about these creatures because they're they scared the
scaring
shit
me.
out of me. All right, so Rob Roberts was a character who I can't remember how he became a monster, but he was the meat eater, and he
Oh yeah.
was eating raw meat and then went to human flesh.
Yes.
Okay.
But what I'm not sure, he was like this really old creature, and at the end of the episode, he shows his final form, I should say, and
Meat
his like
eater.
ears fall off, and then he's got like these really sharp teeth, and he's got no hair. It's fucking, oh, it's so scary. And then of course the Fluke Man. The Fluke Man is so scary. It's that everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's this white fish-looking dude with a fluke. He looks like a fluke.
Oh, I
He's
remember
got the
that.
circle
Yeah.
mouth, and he's
That was
oh,
that was tough to watch.
He was in like the sewer systems, and oh my god.
Yeah, that was
For
gross.
me, this is
I've had-
especially this brings back childhood memories because my dad would watch the X-Files, and I was like under
dad was
his
totally
under
into
his
that,
Yeah,
lap
man.
watching that, and I was just like,
Fluke
This is
Man
some
scares me
crazy
more than
shit.
Rob Roberts,
Yeah.
but there's tons. I could even go into Home, the episode Home with the
That's
incest
one of
creatures.
I was about to
dude,
mention.
You just
Yeah.
fucking read
the
my mind.
creatures
Oh my
But-
god, there's
but
like psychic
Fluke
shit
Man
going on in the
actually-
studio right now.
I had nightmares about
That's
Fluke
what that
Man.
one's called. Home.
Home.
Yeah, that was
Home.
when they.
Yeah.
Okay,
James Wan directed that episode.
really?
Yes.
Yeah.
That when they go and they look under the bed,
Yeah, and they got the mom under there.
fucked me up,
Yeah.
dude. Fucked me up.
So-
what the hell?
I know we went a little dirty with X-Files, but X-Files is a really good example of what
No, that's
practical
great.
It's not
effects
dirty
and
at
stuff.
all. That's
No.
No, that's great because I thought
like it.
we all thought the exact same one.
we were
Yep.
going.
Yeah.
I still, the first time I saw Home, I was like, I can't watch anything.
Oh, yeah.
I had to like, I had back
I need a
away for a
break.
week. I was like, I
Yeah.
can't.
I mean,
can't
the
handle
episode
it.
starts with them burying a baby, like
Yeah.
a freshly
Yeah.
born baby.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
The woman's speech too, when they pull her out from under the bed and they talk to her.
Yes.
The pride, the love, and like all that. You know, when your boys will do anything for you and all that. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of X-Files creatures.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the X-Files. That's what the show is, but there's just a handful of the really, really scary ones.
Well, you know, I don't want to riff on it, but you know, thinking about this though, and you think of creatures, and I mean, the Smoking Man, that character is one of those ones, very complex character, but a real monster, really a real
Yeah.
monster. You know, just this smoking thing, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I forgot the actor's name, but he, you know,
William
he kind of,
something.
you know, one of my favorite. I mean, I'm not a massive X-Files fan, but one of the most intriguing episodes, because I used to. The Smoking Man was always like, oh my god, that guy comes around, bad shit always happens.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
die, right? You know, I love that one. I've watched presidents die. You know, that kind of
Yeah.
shit. It's like this dude's heavy shit, right? They did do the one episode where it was like kind of like an origins of the Smoking Man, where you kind of see him like, I want to be a writer. I want, you know, I want.
Yeah, he has to get hard real fast.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things.
I can get hard real fast.
Oh my god.
You know,
We
he's
went
trying
there.
to quit
Test me,
smoking.
Scott.
But you know, you talk about, you know, like a monster, like a creature. I mean, just thinking that through on the spot here, that's a creature in its own right. You know, just in a human form.
Oh sure.
But that guy
That's
really,
a whole other topic
but he's
too.
scary
you know?
though. That dude was scary. I
Yeah.
mean, he come on. You see him in the dark smoking a cigarette. You're like, fuck that, dude. People die. We're all gonna die. This guy.
Right.
You don't want to fuck with this dude. So anyway, yeah. Moving off of X-Files, Liam, what do you got?
All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go. A shout out to my boy Abe Sapien
Aw.
because
Gotta cross another
I was
guy.
watching Hellboy because I was in a Del Toro mood.
Right.
After
With
The
good
Shape
reason.
of Water. And yeah, and what I love the designs of just Del Toro in general, the way he designs his creatures are
Yeah.
always fascinating. Like I think of the creature with the eyes in
In
Pan's
Pan's
Labyrinth,
Labyrinth.
and just being so struck by that. I was like, that's
Yeah.
where does that come from? How do you think of that? Where
Yeah.
Yeah.
how?
Stares through you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stares
but-
right through you.
I
But-
put down any of his movies
Yeah.
because they're all just his designs they're phenomenal. They're so creative.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Chris? You were gonna say something.
I can't remember now.
Oh,
I'm
good
lost.
job. You're
Memory
probably
that
gonna talk
shot?
about poop.
I lost my bed.
All right, I'll throw another one out there, and this is a bit different too, I think. And I love this movie, The Village. Okay.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
something about M. Night
Shamalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, Shamalama. Thank you.
Shyamalan.
Ding dong.
He has a way of inserting creatures in the films that you don't think they're actually there. Like that's the only way I can really interpret it. Like, is this really happening? Like, because he'll build up, especially in The Village. Like he totally builds this up, and you keep hearing the story of this creature, and you're like, this is a bunch of shit. This is just a tale. And then you go out in the woods, and there's something just sitting there, not moving, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know? No, I don't want to spoil it, but the build up to the creature. And there was a name for it. I forgot, of course. I'm an idiot.
It was actually M. Night Shyamalan.
It really wasn't him in the...
What a twist. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
It's
all right.
the script.
Oh my god.
It's the script. Oh my god.
It's
Zing.
the last Airbender. It's the next 10 years.
I didn't mention
of M. Night's
that.
films.
That movie was cool. I liked The Village a lot. Did you like The Village, Liam?
I love The Village.
Yeah, The Village is cool.
I even liked Signs.
Signs
Signs
well,
is
that's
cool.
okay. There we go. It's the same. It's the same
Yeah.
trip with that movie, right?
When the shot with Merle when he's watching I think that's Joaquin Phoenix's guy.
Yeah.
He's watching the TV and he sees
The thing in the reflection.
and that.
Yeah,
Dude,
man.
It's that same,
Jumped
and it's
every
that same
time.
thing. Like, no, that isn't. No, you're not going to see that. We're not. Why would you show that to me?
Yeah.
You know, and you get it at the end, right? But that's what I got from The Village, and it's why it stuck with me. Is like that image of that thing that you see, because I'm like, there's just we're not going to see this. It's the only way I can really just describe that is I shouldn't have saw it, but you're going to show it to me anyway.
Yeah.
And that's why it's stuck in my head now. Which
He's
is very
really good
effective.
at building that kind of paranoia and tension.
Well, yeah,
I think
just
that
building
like,
something up and not disappointing.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Like you get that, you build up. You know, we've all been through that. The scariest movie of all time. You're gonna shit your pants in the theater, and you go there and you're like, this is
You're gonna
bullshit.
shit and come.
Yeah. You're gonna do it all, man. You just
At the same time.
Pray for the person who has to clean up after your seat.
but you know, M. Night Shyamalan.
So
Shamalama
bad.
Ding Dong.
He will do a build up like that within the film and not disappoint.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's super
He's-
cool.
yeah.
The Village really does that well. Chris, you clean up after yourself. You're just
I know.
you're a mess.
Well,
right?
I know.
somebody else mentioned this on the chat that's happening here.
We have a chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's people.
Hi,
yeah.
chat.
That you can
people
comment
talking
live.
Yeah,
Why don't you all go out and do
a
something?
ask us a question.
The Fly.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
to
it's on my
fly down.
list.
Yeah.
The Fly.
Let me
The
guess.
Fly.
Was that Michelle?
No,
All right, fine.
it was one of these guys talking here.
All right. Yeah, I have Brundlefly on here. Where is it?
Well,
Yeah.
When you were talking about Rob Robertson,
Rob Roberts. Yeah.
Rob Roberts. Okay. I thought about The Fly.
Yeah, because he like takes off his hair
Well,
and he
he just-
pulls his ears off.
He's falling apart.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, the great thing about The Fly is that
And we're talking about the '86 one.
we're talking about
Right.
the 86 one. The
Jeff
great
Goldblum.
the great thing about The Fly is not just the creature design, it's the development of the creature. You get to see him literally transform from human to insect.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting. And you
Yeah.
get the whole transformation happening.
God,
and
it's
it's
so
not just the
sad.
physical transformation, it's the mental transformation that Jeff Goldblum's character is going through
Well,
too.
he's obsessed,
Yeah.
and he's totally lost all train of reality. And all he cares about now is the end game of what he's doing. I don't think in the story that character even thought like this was going to happen. It's just an experiment. I mean,
Yeah.
we knew what the idea was.
Well, that was pretty
teleportation.
stupid of him.
Yeah.
I'm going to put myself in this teleportation machine and see what happens.
I know, but
Bro,
You
you don't
should have
think-
made a more secure
Bro.
door.
Yeah.
But there was
Bro, do you
but that
even
became the
science?
other obsession of what happened. He didn't we know what happened.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
what caused it, but he doesn't.
Right.
He thought he was becoming better,
Yeah.
right? But he became obsessed with that idea, and it took, you said that already. Not only did his body change, but his mind changed, and eventually he became became a goddamn insect.
Yeah.
So there had to have been a point if let's just imagine this was real life for a second. What I would find fascinating is that precipice you get to where, okay, your mind, well, I shouldn't say precipice, it's that threshold you reach where your mind changes from
human to insect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the trippy part of that.
Right.
I kind of want to experience that. Can somebody set this up for me?
He can hook you. I know a guy.
I know a guy.
I got a guy.
He can hook you up. Sometimes you're a fly. Sometimes you're a walrus. Sometimes you're ass to mouth. You can't. Beggars can't be choosers. It's whatever you want.
Liam, you need to be on these more.
My guy,
my guy can hook you up.
My guy.
My guy.
How do you come and ask him
He's
out,
on the
though?
DL, but he's cool. He's cool with
Hank Human
podcast
Centipede.
shoutouts.
Oh,
Come
Yeah,
on.
Human Centipede.
speaking of, no, I don't want to talk about that.
No
fucking
one
movie.
wants
Fuck
to
that
talk
movie.
about that.
H, do something, H.
Okay,
throw it
I'm
out
not
there.
sure which one I should go with because I have some pretty fucking cool ones on my list, all right?
Go for it.
Okay, I'll go with a real old school one that I personally like. It's a super shitty movie. It's called Rawhead Rex.
Oh God.
Cool
flip.
Amazing.
Yeah, I fucking
Yeah, it's a good. It's
yeah,
it's
I
campy, but
love
it's
that
fucking-
creature design. It's so scary. I mean,
love the
it's
teeth.
I used my uncle. He used to show us all kinds of crazy shit, and that's how I know about Rawhead Rex. And ever since then, like, it scared me like initially, right when I first saw it, when he gets up and he's like, ah.
Yeah.
But the more I watch it, the more I'm just like, why did I even think that's scary? It's not even. But what was God. Clive Barker. He Barker.
Clive
I
Barker.
think-
Barker. Right. Okay.
Barker.
So just all of his stuff is really, really incredible. But I love Rawhead Rex mostly because of how juicy he looks. You know, his mouth is so huge and his teeth, he can't shut his mouth,
his teeth
and
are too
he's
big.
just drooling all the time. And I think maybe that's why I thought it was so scary, because he always seemed so angry and so hungry for everything, and it was just
Which I find hilarious, you know, because that movie was made. What year?
86.
86.
The
That was
year I was
before there
born.
was an official discovery of a lot of these crazy deep sea fish we're finding now, and they're finding like the fang tooth,
Right.
where they literally it is Rawhead Rex.
Basically.
they can't shut their mouth because
Yeah.
their teeth are too damn big. It's insane. Like there's a real thing out there that looks like that. It's a fish, but you know.
It's an anglerfish, I believe.
Is it an angler?
Yeah,
or
the
is
one
it-
that has the light that hangs over its mouth.
Well, yeah, but but the big teeth? I thought that was the
Yeah.
big fang tooth one. It wouldn't
Oh,
shut
there's
its mouth.
shit. I mean,
There's a handful. There's a bunch
yeah, I
of
was
them
gonna
out
say
there.
there's probably thousands of species that look like that.
They're insane looking. Liam.
Alrighty, I'm trying to think. The one monster that I remember, I've always loved. He's not really a monster, but he's a essential effect. Is the baby from Eraserhead?
Oh, God.
That's a good one.
The first time I saw that movie, I was when they showed the baby, I was horrified. I think nobody taps into my nightmares and insecurities better than David Lynch. Mm-hmm. Even just through images and sound, he's really great. But the effects of that baby are still, and this is 40 years after they made that movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
40 plus years. It's still the most terrifying thing. And they're like, we'll never tell you how it was made, and that's perfect.
Yeah, I
Because I don't want to know
Yeah.
how you made that monstrosity. It's perfect. You'll ruin the film. Just say it's some ungodly abomination. Whatever
It was
is.
real. Someone actually gave birth to it.
It's David Lynch's real kid.
Oh God. He keeps her in a tower.
Oh,
Oh my God.
She's got her own room
yes.
up in the tower with hay.
Just coffee.
On the
She
floor.
just lives on coffee and cigarettes.
That's what I was gonna say.
He's always out going up there and reapplying lipstick to her and everything.
She smokes 2
You're-
packs of Marlboro Reds every
You'll
day.
always be my pretty princess.
So here's a different one. Have we all seen Dead Girl?
No.
Oh,
Joan-
dude. Oh, God. Oh, no.
Nightmares.
I'm not mentioning this because it's a really, really great movie, because it's not.
It's a very hard watch.
It's a hard
though.
watch.
It's a very hard watch.
However, when I was doing my research for this show, I thought about that movie and said, okay, that's another one. I mean, I was looking at different takes on the whole monster thing, right? Mm-hmm. And Dead Girl definitely is a different take on the creature, monster, whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah. Because you have a creature that the entire film, this creature is left vulnerable. I don't want to spoil it.
I don't even know what Dead Girl is.
Okay, we can. This movie's been out for a while. A lot of people have seen it
10
now.
years. 10 years.
Yeah. Basically, these two teenagers, high school kids.
They're urban exploring.
And they go down into like the sewer area, right?
Yeah.
And there's this body there. It's a corpse. They think it's a corpse.
In a plastic bag.
Plastic bag. And the one friend thinks it will be funny to have sex with the corpse.
Well, because they ripped the plastic back and it was,
a
kind of a hot corpse.
Yeah, okay.
And the entire movie is them having sex with.
I think I've heard of this.
I've heard about this.
This thing was alive.
Yeah.
It was a zombie, basically.
Right.
Oh.
But it was she was a female. She was chained up. Like chained up, like hardcore.
Did they do that?
No, she was just chained up. Somebody else probably. I don't. They don't explain that part. Huh. But yeah, they decide. The one guy thinks, well, dude, she's kind of hot,
right?
And the other dude's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
And well, she's chained up. She can't do anything, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the movie basically is just that
a giant rape metaphor.
It's a horrible fucking movie.
Right.
It's really disturbing.
Yeah.
However,
I watched it 3 times.
How many times you jerk off?
I own it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to watch that.
I own it. It's so what you're saying is I should get all my family and friends. And
Yeah.
I should watch Dead Girl.
But
the whole point. Go ahead.
I also own Martyrs and a Serbian film too. So.
You own a Serbian film?
Yeah.
You're going straight to hell.
The uncut version too.
Oh God.
Fuck that movie. But no, my point with Dead Girl was just that it's a monster, but like we were talking about, I'm really looking at like these different takes on these things, and Dead Girl definitely is that. It's this monster. It's menacing. She's fucking scary.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But she's vulnerable,
Right.
and she can't defend herself.
Anything. Right.
So, that movie just sits there and teeters on disaster the whole way through, and it just turns into this like hangout for them after a while. Like they're so comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking party. They go
So
down
it's
there.
it's like a Richard Linklater movie if there was like like Dazed and Confused with corpse
Oh
fucking.
my god.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough flick, but I think it was a kind of a different idea on this whole monster creature thing.
I think when you get back to school, you should talk to one of your professors, like a film professor, and tell them, I've got this great idea.
I got this hot idea.
Tag them and bag them.
Oh, it's gonna be that's the name. Tag 'em and bag 'em.
Oh shit.
We're gonna have brews.
The kids
We're
will
gonna
love
have
it.
corpse
I get
fucking.
royalties.
We're gonna have weed. It's gonna be amazing.
In a case of Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh, of course, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Gotta have that.
Gotta have that. Otherwise, fail.
Chris.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back old school a little bit too. I'm gonna mention The Blob.
Thank you. You read my mind. Beautiful.
I want to mention the Blob remake. I actually watched the remastered Criterion last year, and the visuals in that movie are pretty astounding.
What about
for
the
when the
58
film
version?
The 58 version was
That's the
groundbreaking
one
at the
I love.
time too.
I love that.
I really liked the remake. This is one movie that the remake kind of updated it and still did justice to the root of the story. But yeah, that creature is terrifying too because it's coming for you, and there's really not much you can do. You're
Pretty
about
much.
to
What's her
become
name? In the remake is what's her name? Shawnee Smith.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
In
See, I
Johnny
like
Drama. Johnny Drama.
Johnny Drama.
While we're on the Blob, you got to mention probably the best remake ever, The Thing.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. But let's talk. That'll be next.
That'll be next.
I want to talk about the Blob. The one I had on my list was the 58 version. I did like the remake, but the 58 version, I thought the people just seemed a lot more vulnerable. Because
it was fucking.
The original 58 just had so much more innocence. I thought,
Yeah.
and then I thought the Blob itself just looked. I mean, I know the remake. Yeah, it was a lot more gory. It was a lot more effective. But I just thought the original. Yeah, this shit's just coming through the friggin' vents and stuff like that.
Dude, it's coming
and it was
for you.
basically just some gelatinous goo they figured out to make. It wasn't anything special. I mean, it didn't look as cool, I guess, as the remake did. But for some reason, that 58 version, I saw that so many times growing up. And when I did see the remake, I liked it. Don't get me wrong, but I really just liked the original one of that.
Yeah.
It just seemed a lot more innocent. People just didn't.
It was like Pleasantville, and then a serial killer coming into Pleasantville and just murdering everybody.
I mean, in that time, no one knew how to deal with that mentally. I think.
Yeah. Of course.
Yep.
So yeah, but both of them are great. The 58 was the one I was like, yeah, dude, that's crazy. Because and you talk about a different take on a monster, man. It's like Now this thing doesn't even talk or scream or yell or look ominous. It's just this fucking thing rolling down the hall.
Yeah. This. Just for real.
Yeah,
it's just
like
coming for you.
You can run.
Yeah,
but you're probably going to die because this thing
you're not
just
getting away.
Keeps going.
And just like I mean,
the more it eats, the more it grows.
Creepshow 2, the lake.
Yeah,
very
that
similar
that
idea.
Oil thing.
The lake. I think it was called the lake. Another really great take on that. Fucking disturbing as hell to watch that, and that's the same point. Like no one will survive. I beat you. Hi. I'm like,
well,
dude, shut your fucking mouth and get in the car, dude.
Right.
I still yell at that thing. It's like, no, the thing.
Yeah.
It's a fucking parachute, dude.
Right.
You're done. You're not getting away from it, man. Game over. Whatever. So yeah, the Blob is the shit. I mean,
the Blob is sweet.
One of my all-time favorites. You mentioned the thing.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites.
What's the
creature design?
I thought this was Chris's poop and cum thing.
I know.
No.
I got all these good
the
answers.
The thing is one of your favorites, I thought.
What's that?
The Thing.
The Thing is amazing.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Absolutely.
Who doesn't like
it was
that movie?
It was the first R-rated movie I ever watched.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Jaws was mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean The Thing, it's just awesome because you get so many different things going on in that movie.
Yeah,
it's not just one creature.
Yeah.
It's
you got
all
a dog,
the different
human. Yeah.
It's all the different forms that it takes throughout the movie. That's so cool. And again, all practical. Imagine the time and energy they had to put into getting all of that done.
Tons of work.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And then of course we get the Thing prequel / remake thing that came out, and it was all CGI.
Did you know the thing about that phrasing? But
the thing about the thing.
The thing about the thing. But that original 2011 movie, they had a rough cut where it was all practical.
Yeah, and they said they wanted to change it all to CGI because they didn't think the teenage kids and stuff that watched it would really appreciate it, so they decided to go back to CGI.
That's fucking pathetic.
That's my generation. We to be honest, we don't really give a shit about how you do it. If it's fucking scary, it's fucking scary.
Well, on that note, there's a movie that came out right after that. It's made by the visual effects crew that did the effects work for The Thing, the 2011 movie. They made a movie called Harbinger Down.
Yeah,
and it's got Lance Henriksen in it, and it's basically another Thing remake, but it takes place on a shipping boat, like a freighter. And they use all of the practical effects work that were going to be in The Thing 2011.
Wow, that's
they
really cool.
bring it all into that, and it's really cool.
Probably
it's
cost
really
enough.
cool.
They had to use it for something.
Yeah.
That was going to make it the film. Not
and
the
I think
cutting
they
room
did
floor.
a lot of crowdfunding and whatnot for it. So
cool.
Check out Harbinger Down.
check
It's
that
got Lance Henriksen in it, who's always a genre favorite.
He's always fun.
He's awesome.
I love to watch him.
Yep.
I mean, I don't mean to go out of order here, but on the subject of The Thing, and we've mentioned this movie a couple times, The Void.
Yeah.
Which is a newer film.
I actually still haven't seen it.
I have not seen
Badass.
it. Everyone,
watch it.
I've heard it's great. It just
very
I haven't
natural
gotten the
looking.
right time.
It just looks so freaking cool and organic. It's practical effects.
Yeah.
There's something you can't replace with that. The gooiness and depending on what the person's taste is, who's creating it, right? But I just love the gooiness. When you're dealing with gore and things like that. That's part of, I think, the fun of it is all the blood and shit.
Yeah, how
seeing
messy
how
it
all
is.
came together and
Like I've talked about Clash of the Titans, which speaking of creatures,
Yeah, that was on my list.
the claymation, the original one, Medusa,
Yes.
Kraken.
the blood,
Terrifying.
well, just the blood when he
right.
takes her head off, and you just get that really sweet looking, looked like kind of like the Blob from '58,
Yeah, right? Yeah.
same blood,
Yeah.
just jelly like shit.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, really super cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to go out of
No,
order there.
not at all.
Turn it is,
Totally
but-
fine. Like I said, we pretty much have the same exact list. So I'm trying to like cross it. Like look at how much I crossed off already. I got a lot of stuff on here.
I do want to throw this back again though to like some old school shit
Do
too.
it. Do
That's
it.
what I
do
was
it.
trying to do.
I do want to like pay respect to like movies like the original Frankenstein.
Yay!
Yeah.
You know,
I got that
the
on my
original
list.
Dracula.
Yay!
Yes.
And like the
I
creature
have those on
from the
here.
Black Lagoon.
The Wolfman.
The Wolfman.
I
yeah.
gotta cross off so many more now.
It's funny though because I always see that video of the creature from the Black Lagoon on Facebook, like
Fuck
the meme
this,
video.
yeah.
Fuck this and fuck this
that.
too,
That's
and
one of
fuck
my
that.
favorites.
Yeah.
But for the time, that
terrifying.
creature, it was terrifying.
That's a
People
great-
hadn't seen something like that before.
a
Yeah,
great
now all that latex work, it kind of looks old, but it's still organic and has texture to it. Like, how cool to be those guys back then doing that stuff for the first time.
Yeah.
I know, right?
You know, like they're the originators and like they deserve a lot of respect for that. And I think a lot of that gets forgotten now because of the computer generated effects and whatnot. Like seriously, those old creatures are just so cool. And the Wolfman.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Wolfman's badass.
Those original transformation scenes, it's so cool just to watch his face changing, and they're doing it all with film.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But we
Well, and that was
figure out how
hours
to do it.
The time those guys spent on all practical effects back then. Now of course it all does look a little campy, and it that's just what it was. But that was the foundation.
And I'd say that's even part of the charm. You know, when they tried to bring back the Universal monsters and do terrible action films for some
it's over now. They're
some
not-
Yeah.
reason.
yeah.
Those movies, people are going to forget about those. Like you ask anybody, "Oh, are you excited for the Dark Universe?" They're going to be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I
Right.
think the Dark Universe is scrapped because their first attempt at that was Dracula Untold, and that flopped. And then they were like, okay, we're going to try to re-kickstart this with the new Mummy movie with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And we know how that turned out. So I think that the Dark Universe is like done.
Done.
I don't think
Yeah.
that they're going to attempt it because people don't want to buy into like, oh, I want to see Dracula rebooted again or Frankenstein. There are some really good Frankenstein movies out there. We don't need,
You don't need any more.
You don't want to.
Anymore.
Yeah.
You're telling me you don't want to see Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde form their own weird secret not superhero organization?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
I do.
You
Yeah.
do?
Well, yeah. Dude, Dr. Jekyll, yeah, that dude.
It sounds
that shit is
better
so cool.
when I'm saying it than when you watch the movie.
1931
And-
Frankenstein though was
Pitch
just
it.
sick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
was
and
insane
like
to
the
watch.
original, like Nosferatu, and
Yes.
you know,
Nosferatu.
like, dude,
Yes.
man, that stuff is
Nosferatu.
so cool.
You know, it's
I
I
love
have a copy of
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu at home, and that's one of my all-time favorites. And I remember showing that to my fiance years ago,
Yeah.
and who never saw it. And she's a little bit, not too much younger than me, but a little bit younger than me. And I'm like, dude, this is like a masterpiece. Like this is like one of the originals. This
Right.
is so fucked to watch, and it really is. Just the shadow work they did on there.
Yeah.
You know how they used darkness. That was one of the first films I ever saw where they really used darkness to like really create that mystique. And yeah, I remember Amber just kind of going, "What the fuck? This isn't scary."
What?
I'm like,
Oh, it's a silent film too.
"It's
like,
a silent film, which has
Yeah.
that makes it even more
Oh.
creepy." But Amber didn't. I'm like, "Oh, shut up, go away, go hide."
I
You
think
don't like-
the guy who did The Witch is remaking Nosferatu, or he was
Ooh.
rumored to do it
I
at
think,
some
yeah.
point.
I'm pretty sure.
That would be pretty
But
cool.
how do you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man.
That's so
Did
iconic,
you ever
man.
see Shadow of the Vampire?
Yeah, it was great. It was
Yeah.
fun.
yeah,
That was really
that
cool.
was really good.
I love that. It's a great take on things. I
It's
mean,
the only
thought it was
time I
super
can ever
neat.
watch Willem Dafoe.
Oh, I love him in that movie so much.
I would make love to Willem Dafoe.
Oh,
I would. I
He's
just
got a
would.
mouth for
Would
it.
you give him
I'd watch
your
him do
Florida
that.
project?
Yes, I would.
But the original Nosferatu, which I I'll be honest, I forgot to put that on my list, and I'm really ashamed of myself. That's a total testament. You really don't, in my opinion, get much creepier in that movie as far as a creature is concerned. And that was a totally, that was totally off the path of what what history has proven to be the classic vampire, the Bela Lugosi vampire, which is the romantic, sexy, seductress type vampire. Nosferatu was the true form, in my opinion, of what a vampire really
evil.
is. Well, I mean, a loner.
Yeah.
Not really even evil. I don't think that's really evil. They look evil, but I don't even think the idea of like the construct of what evil. This is something that is just trying to survive.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You go in nature, animals kill each other every day.
Right.
Does that make them evil? No, it's a survival thing. Yeah. And I think, when you reduce a vampire, the idea of a vampire down to that, the primordial thing where it's trying to survive, I don't think Nosferatu was really evil.
No, he was just living.
Well, he was just trying to survive.
Right.
We as humans have constructed Nosferatu because of the way he looks, the way he walks, his long fingernails and all those things. That equals evil in our mind because we quantize it to be that, right?
Yeah.
So that's what makes that character so fucking fascinating to me. Is that to me that's a real vampire.
Yeah.
Doesn't travel in any packs. It wasn't like wolves. He was by himself. Heavy shit.
Yeah.
Heavy shit.
He's a loner, a rebel, Dottie.
One of them mattresses, the mattress tags.
And
I cut one of them off.
The newer Dracula stuff, like I've mentioned Bram Stoker's Dracula on here. I love that movie. And
Interview with a Vampire was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool. Sorry, I mean to cut you off. Go ahead, H.
No, it's fine. I love that movie too. But I mean, just Gary Oldman's character and like his paleness and his design and the elaborate clothes. And
when he transforms into like the 7-foot tall,
the
human bat hybrid, I mean, that shit. I just watched that on Halloween. I got the 4K disc. And I tell you what, those effects in that movie 25 years later they're amazing. They're really, really
same thing
amazing.
with Interview, man. That movie is crisp.
Yep.
That is a beautiful
They hold up really
movie.
well. Really, really well. Other one I want to mention is Predator.
I was about to say Predator.
Stan Winston, right?
Yes. I think if we're talking about creature features or effects, you got to bring up Stan Winston.
Yeah, of course.
The best.
Predator was the shit.
Yeah. Predator's sweet.
That's something we never saw. I mean, I think that's right up there with the Xenomorph. When the mask comes off, we all weren't ready for that. And either was Arnold.
Ugly.
Either was Arnold. He couldn't deal with that shit either. Predator is just one of those ones. I honestly think because nowadays Predator and the Xenomorph, the Yautja, that's what they actually call the Yautja, and the Xenomorph are kind of mentioned in the same sentence nowadays.
Yeah, and they exist in the same galaxy,
in the same universe. There's this whole storyline, and I think, frankly, the Predator kind of gets overshadowed a lot of times to the Xenomorph. My personal preference, I dig the Xenomorph more, but I think in general they're both equally as fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
I think the Predator is more of a hero type character, where the Xenomorph is the villain. But it's the same fucking thing we were talking about with
Nosferatu. Yeah,
they're
exactly.
They're animals.
It's just
they're
perspective.
They're trying to survive, and they I think that's even been mentioned.
You got a fucked up perspective, Predator.
You gotta stop that.
But I think the Xenomorph. They've even said they've even brought that idea up in the films. Like the idea is this thing really evil?
Even the honor thing there was in one of the Alien versus Predator.
The first one with the
those
pyramid.
movies are so fucking terrible.
They're terrible, but I love them because they're hilarious. They blend into hilarious. Yeah, the second one has bullshit. The second one is that the one
the hybrid.
with the scene with the pregnant women.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. Like 12-year-old me thought that was the shit. I was like, that's fucking awesome. And I watched it like years later. I'm like, this movie's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
The problem with the Alien vs. Predator movies is they really just screw up the entire timeline of everything.
They do. They've caused all types of weird things. There's a million novellas out there, and there's a million comics out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it's. I mean, I won't pretend like I follow everything, but I do understand the story, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense now. You know,
It's not
with Whalen
canon
and
to
everything.
me.
But I mean, that really does. That idea is fascinating still with the xenomorphs. It's the same idea with Nosferatu. Are they truly evil? Are they truly evil, or are they just trying to survive? Right? We construct them as evil because look at them, for God's sake. The xenomorph.
Well,
they look evil.
I think in the first Predator movie, we established that the Predator is an evil creature because it comes to Earth and it's hunting humans. But then by the time we get around to some of the later stuff, it kind of changes. Like
He's more of an honorable.
Yeah, in
Well,
Alien
because
vs. Predator.
you learn the culture, the Yautja culture.
Yeah.
And in the first one, it wasn't much different, really. They were brought. This is your rite of passage as a youngling, as a young Yautja. You have to
Yeah.
come down there and take on the baddest of the baddest. Right.
They collect the best human beings possible,
Yeah.
and then you have to kill them.
Are we? You know, we would consider that evil.
Yes.
Because we don't like to see people die. We don't like to see loss of life. If Jesse Ventura was my dad, how fucking cool would that be, right?
You'd have the body as
At
your
least
dad.
back then. Now he's kind of a nut.
Scott, you gotta go clean your room.
Yeah. now he's kind of a nut, but back then it'd been like Jesse.
Yeah.
My dad, Jesse Ventura, the body Ventura. Yeah, if he died, that would suck, and I would consider whatever did that to be evil, right? But and I'm not saying, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. It's just fun to fuck around. But you have this whole culture that this is what they do.
Yes.
This is their honor system, right? And we do learn that.
Fly to Earth, kill people, collect their skulls.
Be cool.
Crack
Be
some,
cool.
crack some brews, you know.
Yeah.
All right, we got time for one more.
Can I do it?
Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
a really cute one. Mogwai.
Oh, fuck
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Gremlins.
Yeah, Gremlins.
I mean,
Yeah.
well, the Mogwais are the cuter ones. The Gremlins are the green ones. But yeah, we can end on a little happy note.
Yeah.
The Gremlins.
Yeah.
Those ones
Yeah.
are so great.
Stan Winston did those too.
I
Yeah,
love those.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
he's just all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People like Gremlins
He
too.
was
Because I
all
love
over the
Gremlins
place.
I love that
too.
movie. The
There-
movie's
it's-
so fun.
It's like I just love it. It's bonkers. It's a sequel that it like makes fun of sequels.
Yeah.
And I have to imagine the folks
the
at
female
Warner Brothers.
Gremlin.
I imagine the folks at Warner Brothers were like, what
Yeah.
is this movie? It's all
It was
over
completely
the place.
insane.
It
Yeah.
is, but it's so fun. Like I couldn't imagine a Gremlins movie not like the sequel. You know, like when I saw the first Gremlins,
Which was dark.
which
in
is
a lot of
actually
ways.
really dark.
Yeah.
You know, I
I
was
just rewatched it.
I was like, oh well, you know, they need to be. I want them to be I want more of them. The first thing I thought of because I just loved it.
Well, it's
but
a
I really,
character- it's a
really
character that
like the
lends itself-
hijinks that they
Yeah.
get into in the second one.
It's
you
a
know?
character that lends itself to that, like what you're talking about. Like I want to see different, like the Smurfs.
Yeah.
Dare I compare?
Dude,
The Smurfs.
I would love an
When
evil
you-
Smurfs movie.
But even the Smurfs, when I was a kid, I'm not saying they're evil, but like, there was all these different Smurfs. There's all these different flavors of
Right,
Smurf.
yeah.
Right, grumpy Smurf, happy
Right.
Smurf, the female Smurf. Remember?
Clinical depression Smurf.
Yeah, yeah. Crackhead
yeah, and
Smurf.
that's what the sequel to Gremlins 2, man.
Nymphomaniac Smurf.
Gremlins 2
Yeah.
is fun.
But you
Yeah.
have all these different flavors, and yeah, that character is the same thing. It lends itself to that. Let's see different gremlins, like all these different insane gremlins, right? It makes zero sense. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
But then there's
And that is a good way. That's a good
cute little Mogwai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mogwai.
Bright light.
Probably the
Right,
cutest thing that has ever been made.
Yeah.
Honestly, the Mogwai is
What?
like...
I'm sitting right here. What the fuck?
Oh, besides Heather, the cutest thing there's ever made.
I'm pretty much a Polly Pocket, so
I'm not commenting. Just not. I'm
Pocket
not.
what?
for all of you older peoples, Polly Pocket was a toy.
I know.
I know Polly Pocket.
Yeah.
She was also a
Chris.
Amber still has one.
She does?
Yeah,
Are you serious?
dead serious.
Shh. I hope it's in good condition.
It works still.
Oh my god.
All right,
All right,
folks.
yeah, sorry.
We'll talk.
This was episode 676
Oh
of
my
Real
God.
Crime.
An hour and a half tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, we went a while.
This was a lot of fun. This was a cool.
This was a
We
good one.
will be back next week at 10 p.m. Tuesday night with another episode. We'll let you
Another
guys
live
know what
stream.
we're doing. Another live stream every week, 10 p.m.
Oh.
Scott hates it. That's why I want to keep doing it.
Sure,
With that, everybody,
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Get the fuck out. Goodbye.
I just punched him like again.
Visit us at www.themoviesleuth.com and find The Movie Sleuth on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and iTunes.